be told. You want the truth, you came to the right show, yeah. Talk to me, tell me what's going on. Alan and MJ, we talk about back in the day to up to date. And you know it's nothing but love and no hate. FD Reese, it was the okay. Okay, let's go. Welcome to the Lineage Show. Okay, let's go. The Lineage.
Form the front line of that march. To my left, march Jose Williams holding his daughter. I march next to him. Mrs. King march next to me. Dr. King march next to her. On the way to the Capitol, you hear Dr. King make that speech that day. I sat on that platform, looked out over that sea of humanity, and I had a feeling of great triumph and victory. After having gone through all of the indignities, all the sacrifices, not all seemed.
Yes. Welcome to the Lineage Podcast. Glad to be back on this Thursday. Appreciate everybody joining us. Everybody that's coming in. Appreciate y'all consistently supporting us. Check this out. We are the Lineage Podcast. I'm MJ Reese, my brother Alan Reese. Why are we the Lineage Podcast? We are the grandsons, 2 out of 3 of the grandsons of the Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese. Who was Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese? He was the chief orchestrator of the voting rights movement. We say it with our chest. We got receipts to prove it. We got a great show lined up. Few topics that we're gonna talk about that we're gonna get into. You know how me and bro do it. Last week was great. We had people checking in that haven't viewed the show, and they hit a couple of people hit us up like they really enjoyed the show. So we appreciate y'all. Look, you already know if you do not have the book Selma Self-Sacrifice, that is the autobiography of the Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese. Please get that book. It is on Amazon currently. If you have not booked the FD Reese historical tour in Selma, Alabama, me and bro will be in Selma next weekend. Please book the tour. We start at the historical site, which is the house of Reverend Dr. Frederick D. Reese and Aline C. Reese. And we take them to various locations of how our granddaddy impacted the movement. We also got something that's great that we've been talking about for a few weeks, or a little over a month or so. We now have the Selma in Atlanta tour. Right now it is on Viator and TripAdvisor. All you got to do is go to Viator, put in the search bar Selma in Atlanta tour, and you'll see we'll come up, and we got a nice little deal coming on for the launch. If y'all don't know, August 6th, which was yesterday, day before yesterday, was the 60th anniversary of the voting rights bill passing. So we thought what a better way than go ahead and launch it. LAUNCH, I know I'm country. Launch it on that week. So we appreciate y'all. Govern yourselves to all of those announcements. Yes, we got a nice show today, but y'all already know before we get into it, First Nurse Kimberly Reese is in the field doing First Nurse things, but she did send her footage. So we're gonna get into First Nurse Kimberly Reese video, and then we'll be back so y'all don't go nowhere. Check it out.
Hello everyone, this is Kimberly, your nurse practitioner, coming to give you a weekly dose of health information. We are now in the month of August, and August is known to be National Immunization Awareness Month and Children's Eye Health and Back to School Safety Awareness Month as well. Although the decision for childhood immunization has become a hot debate due to concerns of potential side effects or religious point of views for some individuals, I would advise for all parents to mark this month to ensure and schedule wellness physicals, dental appointments, and eye exams for your child if you have not already done so. This time is very important to take the initiative and be proactive with your child's health because school has started for many students along with physical sports and activities. Because we want all of our scholars to put their best foot forward, an eye exam will be very critical to ensure their best academic performance. Study shows that corrective lenses can improve test scores and grades, particularly in math and science. Also, limit screen time. Screen time can have a negative effect on the eyes to cause the eyes to strain, which can lead to blurred vision. Also, because it's Back to School Awareness Month, I'm going to go over a few back to school tips to ensure safety. And they are the following. Watch for school zones. Put your phone down while driving and don't get distracted. Drop and pick up at designated areas. Carpool so that there will be less vehicles on the road. And watch for children in parked car areas. Stop for buses loading and unloading students. And also watch out for warning signs and signals. And last but not least, may every scholar have a blessed and safe school year.
We appreciate First Nurse Kimberly Reese dropping the jewels for us every week like she do. And yeah, I know a majority of kids went back to school this week. This is what tomorrow will complete their first week, majority of kids. Love to see all the pictures of the back to school pictures and everything that's coming from the kids. They growing up. I know we getting old now because a lot of the kids that, you know how they got the now and then pictures. I've seen a lot of those, man. It's crazy to see how the kids have grown up. Like you blink and then they in high school pretty much. But today on the topics, we want to talk about clergy and abuse. I don't know if y'all heard about we'll get into it. Clergy and abuse. That's one topic. Should women shoot their shot? Should women shoot their shot? And if we can get into it, if we have time, do fathers deserve the same rights as mothers? Do fathers deserve the same rights as mothers? Let's get into the first topic, clergy and abuse. We got some pictures here. We'll read it. I'll read it. Okay, judge blocks Washington state law requiring Catholic priests to report abuse, even if disclosed in confession. Says federal judge blocked Washington state Friday from enforcing a law that will require Catholic priests to report child abuse, even when disclosing a confessional or facing nearly a year of jail time. U.S. District Chief Judge David Estudillo in Tacoma stated the law that threatened clergy with a $5,000 fine and up to 364 days in prison for not disclosing child abuse and neglect heard during confessions. The legislation, SB 5375, was signed by Democratic Governor Bob Ferguson in May and would have taken effect July 27. In a 25-page order, Estudillo, hoping I'm pronouncing his name right, appointed to the federal bench, this was by President Joe Biden, determined that the law was unlikely unconstitutional and violated First Amendment protections allowing for the free exercise of religion. The state arguably could have chosen a less restrictive means of advancing its interests in protecting children from abuse and neglect by adding members of the clergy to the list of mandated reporters, while also permitting a narrow exception for the confessional, as approximately 25 other states have done, he wrote. I'm almost done, y'all. Ultimately, Washington's failure to demonstrate why it has an interest of the highest order in denying an exemption to clergy while making such exemptions available to other professionals who work with undeserved children. The Catholic Church views confession as among the holiest of activities and instructs priests to uphold their sacred obligation by keeping such disclosures confidential on pain of excommunication. This ruling confirms what has always been true. In America, government officials have no business prying into the confessional, said Mark Rinzi, president and CEO of the religious freedom legal nonprofit Becket, which represented the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Seattle. Last one. By protecting the seal of confession, the court has also safeguarded the basic principle that people of all faiths should be free to practice their beliefs without government interference. In a nation where anti-Catholic bigotry is on the rise, this ruling is a hopeful reminder. No American should face criminal penalties for living out their faith, said Kelsey Reinhardt, the president of Catholic Vote, a leading advocacy group. We are grateful for today's ruling and hope that the final outcome of the case similarly reflects our nation's commitment to the First Amendment of all Americans, especially Catholics. Archbishop Paul D. Etienne, Bishop Joseph J. Tyson, and Bishop Thomas A. Daly sued Ferguson May 29th and are represented by Becket, the First Liberty Institute, and Lawyers for WilmerHale. I know I just read a lot. What you think about this, bro? Because this can be very problematic, man. What you think about that?
It's a disgrace. The word talks about it's better to take your limbs, cut your limbs off, and fall to the depth of the sea. And go to the depth of the sea, then harm a child, MJ.
Correct.
It's a shame to see that we'll hold other institutions higher than the church. We'll hold football programs, schools, different organizations. If you see a child or you hear that a child has been molested, please tell the authorities. Why is it that the church is not held accountable to the same standard? The church should be held to a higher standard. Yeah, you can come confess what you've done, but if you have molested a minor, as a man of God, as a person of the church, this need to be reported, MJ. Why are we allowing these men? See, let me tell you why. Because you got a lot of mess going on in the church. You got a lot of pastors in the past and or whatnot. You got a lot of them messing with these kids, MJ. It's the church and the home is some of the places that can mess a child up. We got a lot of that going on in our families that people are not talking about. And we have a lot of that going on in the church, a lot of grooming in the church that's going on with these older individuals. They're grooming these younger kids, men, girls, or boys. And it's a shame, MJ. And I would ask any pastor to not look at this as a protection for them, but I would ask them to disregard it. And when you see things like that happening and you hear things like that happening, to go report those people, MJ. Because who we hurting? We're hurting the child. Well, not only are they getting molested, but then they have been the molester is being protected.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, bro. Okay. Yeah. So what about the confessional? So because I know in the Catholic Church, when the priest is sitting in the confessional, when you go in the confessional, does he directly know who you are all the time? Is what I'm saying. Because
no, he don't.
Yeah,
he doesn't. But they need to have a system put in place to say, look, I'm a priest in booth 5, and who just came out booth 5? I need for them to go to the authorities. What I'm saying, I know that it might be funny. What I'm saying is, MJ, we can identify these people, MJ.
Yeah.
It's the point that we protect these people. Look at Epstein and Donald Trump. I know I sent you some on Instagram.
Yeah, I got that.
You know what I'm saying?
You want me to? I got a picture. You want me to put it up?
Yeah, put that up there. And see
some of it.
Look at this. See, powerful people have been doing this for the longest. You see these young girls and stuff?
It say Kelly Fuller, 12 years old, got $1 million settlement in '89. Charles Bacon, 11 years old, $3 million allegations of oil and intercourse in 1994 in Trump Towers. Rebecca Conway was 13 years old in the course of oil sex. Trump, I think that's Vineyard Estates in Charlottesville, got a $5 million settlement. And Maria Oliveira, 12 years old, was paid $16 million. Her family was paid $16 million to settle up allegations of forcible intercourse.
So we have a male. Not saying that women are not doing them. Let's talk about the men right now.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's be honest. The reason they protecting the priest because the priest tends to like little boys. The priest supposed to be a virgin all their lives, and they don't consider messing with boys the way that they sexually act with boys as a sexual act.
Right.
Okay. Let's talk about it, bro.
No, that's facts. No, that's facts.
That's just the truth behind it.
That's fact,
they
bro.
Don't consider it as a sexual act. So they will continue to mess with little boys. So the priest messing with the boys. So why when somebody else come in and say that they molested a girl or a child that's not a part of the church, why would he tell, MJ?
Right.
Because it's a known fact that the Catholic Church and the priests in the Catholic Church has a problem with messing with little boys.
We know that.
And see,
100%.
remember, the Catholic Church is governed by their own state.
They are, right. So they really protect it.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about it, those things has bled on into our churches. We want to act like it happening in our church. That's a lie.
A lie.
That's a lie.
We know.
Okay? And it has to stop. And we as adults, when we see that, I don't care who the pastor is, I don't care how much fame he got. That's the problem with the church today. These pastors got too much fame and we want to protect them. I don't care how much fame he has. When it comes to children who do not have a what's the right word? They don't have a voice. We need to speak up. These not two adults.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These not two adults who can make a conscious decision. This is a child who has been taken advantage of. So now we got that in the church. Now the professional man, the corporate man, the people that got power, like Donald Trump now. You see what they've been doing. They don't want the Epstein stuff to come out because a lot of people, and excuse me, a lot of Republicans and Democrats on there. Some of the people you love are on there, MJ.
Come on, man.
They
know.
on there.
They on there.
Just believe it. That's why this is a collective agreement to keep that Epstein stuff quiet. Because there's a lot of people who took them plane rides that you would say, dog, I ain't know they was on there.
Yeah.
Come on,
man.
Let
me read the comment because Shalonda agreed with you. Anthony Williams, what's up, boy? Been a minute. What's up, bro? Shalonda, cuz she said it sounds like we're holding teachers more accountable to report abuse than Catholic priests.
Thank you.
No one should be exempt from calling out abuse, especially if it's a current event. You repented. That's between you and God. But that crime must be reported. That's facts.
That's right.
You repented, but that crime must be reported. And the priest is responsible for reporting it and protecting the kids. I agree.
They ain't protecting it because they got a line of boys in the back that they've been messing with, that's been messing up their lives.
Right.
In the name of the Lord, MJ.
That's right. That's a fact.
It's not two adults that has come together and has seen somebody had an affair or different things like that. We talking about children, MJ.
Kids, man.
We talking about kids.
Right.
Then they go home and mama and them want to protect the priest like they've been protecting the uncle. Don't tell.
Right.
Come on, man. Come on. We could be some punk people, man.
But you know, that's kind of what it was many shows ago when we kind of disagreed, but what goes on in the house, stay in the house. And that's kind of what I was alluding to.
Right. When it comes to that, somebody to say something.
Right. You
know, that's just what it is.
There you go.
When it comes to that child is scarred. That child needs deliverance. You need to go to jail, then we can help you get your deliverance.
Right.
Through the system.
Right.
You're an adult. But that child needs some real attention, MJ.
Thanks,
and
bro.
we wonder why it gets worse because we continue to look over it. But guess what? Hurt people. So a lot of times the child who was once prey becomes a predator.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Pro in here. What's up, cuz?
That's just what it is, MJ.
You're right though, cuz. He said sissy in the road.
That's what it is.
What it is, man.
You got to stop that, man.
That's what it is.
If I was past, I promise you. I remember, I'll never forget. We went to Charlotte years ago. We went to John P. Key Church. And John P. Key had a van and they had a little shed on the outside. And one of the things he did, he said, look, when I find out men beating their wives, my deacons and stuff, we go get you and we take you back in this van, in the shed, and we whoop your behind, basically. That was John P. Key was this in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah.
This is what we should do when we find out men are messing with little boys. And priests.
You know they do that when they get to prison, especially if they
but we need to not come. They need to already be towed up before they get to prison. The police need to come and see them looking like Mr. Elephant Man when they come pick them up, MJ.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? That stuff will stop, bro. It will stop.
I ain't against it. Pro said the church and state has always been separate until they want to know about the financial contributions, Brownie. That's the truth, man. 100%. 100%, man. Yeah. This is a disgrace, man. The bottom line is, man, what is this world coming to, man?
What's coming is what it is, man. This world has always been corrupt. It just now social media and stuff is allowing things to be unveiled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's always been corrupt, but it's a lot of things been unveiled. And see, that's the thing. It's crazy. I just use that word unveiled because that's what the priest's supposed to do. They're supposed to let you go beyond the veil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They
beyond the veil by Daryl Coley. Good God Almighty.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Good God Almighty.
But we don't need them no more.
Right.
We got Christ. We
Right.
don't need the priest to speak upon our behalf. Mm-hmm. We got the right through what makes us righteous through Christ, through his righteousness. And I accept him now. I'm righteous.
Facts.
We don't need him no more.
Facts.
We letting this imperfect man who the spirit not dealing with him, we letting him know all the problems. When he get done knowing our problems, he going back and he got problems himself.
Mm-hmm. That's
you know
a fact.
What I'm saying?
That's a fact. Pro said the Catholic Church is the most powerful church in the world, and they control everything, which is why they won't go against them. Corruption. That is.
People say Rome fell. Rome never failed. It just turned into the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Rome never failed. They understood that we cannot be a structural, physical, financial power like we was, like what America considers themselves now, which is falling. At the same, so the Romans understood that, so they turned themselves into the Roman Catholic Church, and they have power. MJ,
that's a fact.
That's just what it is.
No, that's a fact, bro.
That's another deep history we'll talk about another time.
We'll talk about another time. Look, we're gonna go to this quick commercial. We come back. Should women shoot their shot? This should be interesting. Should women shoot their shot? We'll be right back.
I persuaded teachers for the first time to engage in a teachers' march. And so we agreed that we were going to march.
Nice.
We'll stand strong. Where we belong. It's not about yourself.
First of all, serving notice on our nation. It's Dr. Frederick Douglass Reese.
We march. We march. We march. To march.
He said, what shall we do? I said, we are going back. He said, yeah.
Welcome back to Lynch Podcast. Welcome back. MJ and Alan Reese here. Appreciate everybody joining us. Everybody that's coming, we appreciate it. If you're not on YouTube, I got a few people on Facebook. Come over to the YouTube, man. Just come on over to the YouTube where we can all be on one accord. Next topic, should women shoot that shot? We got a little video that we'll show, and I'll see if y'all agree or not. Check this out.
I could never shoot my shot to somebody.
But I think as I've gotten older, I've become more comfortable with the idea.
How you do that?
You know, I done double tapped a few pictures from 52 weeks ago.
Right.
You know, and
I'll be like that. That's how I do in the club. You know, if I'm doing a little duck, I want you.
Come on.
Would you give advice though to women to shoot their shot, like in today's society?
My sister, for example, who's 10 years younger than me, she's now newly single.
Okay.
Friends, I believe it was her birthday. And I forget where she was in the city, but it was a cute little spot. Apparently, there was a dude that walked in that caught her eye. And she was like, ooh, I want to shoot my shot. Her friends at the table was like, no, you got to wait for him to notice you and go to the bathroom and walk past and see if you could make eye contact, this, that, and the third. I said, all your single friends is telling you not to send the drink.
All right now. Come on now.
You preaching the word.
As a man now, if I was single and a young lady sent me a drink, the first thing that shows me is that she's not looking to make money off of me. She has her own because she sent me a drink. It also shows me she has the confidence to step out there, do something that's outside of what the norm is, which means that that's the type of person I might want to build with, right? So to me, the gesture tells me a lot about the woman. More than the drink, shows she's not afraid.
Okay, before we go, I got to read pro last comment. Because of the authority the Catholic Church has, they say who is in our government, even after we cast our votes, but they attack other denominations who refuse to uphold and marry same sex. You're right, bro. I had to read that, man. That's right, 100% on point. 100% on point. Should women shoot that shot? What you think, bro?
In today's time, they better be shooting that shot. That's just what it is. Just different time, different era, man. You know, I just think, a lot of single women out there. It's, I'm back in the day, I would say probably no. But in today's time, I think it's all right, man. That's just me personally.
Do you think they should go all the way, or should it be like
you said, like the lady did? The lady sent a drink or whatnot. Go start a conversation with them. I don't see nothing wrong with it, MJ. To be honest with you, I think in today's time, back in the day, women was taught to keep themselves, and if they weren't spoken for, they carry themselves a certain way, this and that. Men was more intentional back in the day. It was more about, going to talk to girl. But in today's time, with a lot of things going on, men a little bit more reserved, women, they reserved. So I think today, self-centered has to be totally taken out. Back in the day, it was like the woman was in the middle, sitting on in her princess seat, and the man had to go approach. You better bring your best game, and she just had a lot of pickings. It's just not like that anymore, MJ.
Ain't like it,
like now when we were growing up, the gas station, Six Flags, you would see dudes get out the car and go walk to the other car and talk to the girl, this and that. But now it's not. When last time you went to the gas station, saw a dude going to another girl car and talk to
man, they don't do that no more.
So nowadays, if you looking and you trying to find somebody and you want to meet somebody nice, I don't care which sex it is, man or female, you better open your mouth.
Yeah. let me read it. Cuz say it depends on the purpose. Shoot your shot to date or go out maybe. For a relationship, no. My strong, all caps opinion is relationships only work if the man is pursuing a woman. Pro said closed mouth don't get fed. Shalonda also said if a man isn't actively checking for you, you are not the one for him. A man will entertain you, but he has someone else in mind that he wants. Tori says, I don't see anything wrong with it. I've done it and got a few dates. Pro said it's okay to let someone know you're interested. It just a matter how you respond afterwards. Everyone wants to feel loved and special.
I agree with Shalonda. What I'm saying, the initial contact, I don't think nothing is wrong for the woman to shoot a shot. But I don't think the woman need to find herself being the aggressive one, trying to get him to be involved in a relationship.
Yeah, see, when we say shoot a shot, I think the shot can be different. I think it's different types of guns and bullets. I feel like a woman.
What you carrying in, a 45?
You know what I'm saying? Wait, I feel like a woman shouldn't shoot the Mossberg. That's too big of a shot. Because if a woman go too big, you can seem desperate. And let's be honest.
Yeah.
A man, if your shot is too desperate, we automatically gonna value at a certain level.
Hold on, before you finish, should a man be shooting them in today's time?
Yes, sir.
Should a man be shooting a Mossberg now? I think both got to kind of approach lightly.
Well, yeah. If anyone can have a Mossberg, it's the man.
Okay.
A woman shouldn't even own one. Keep her handgun 9mm. Keep her Glock. What I'm saying is when she shoot her shot, I'm saying it can mean like eye contact. you know, a subtle wave, a subtle smile when they look at each other. I don't feel like now sending the drink. I wouldn't. Okay, let me ask you this: would you tell Faith? Okay, Faith just hit it in the 9th grade. So let's say 10 years from
I
now.
gotta bring my baby girl in. 10
years from now.
That low blow. Right?
10 years from now, would you advise Faith if she's out to send a drink to a man that she finds attractive?
Well, let me be honest. In her young days, no.
Okay.
Maybe 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. No.
Right.
Now, as she gets older,
I'm with you.
And she has not found who she would like to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Now wisdom set in and says that now you got to reposition yourself and your play has to be different.
Correct.
So she might have to.
Come on, come back in. He done froze. Okay, let me read these comments. Okay, I don't see anything wrong with it, blah, blah, blah. That's, okay, Pro said, that's what I'm talking about, Alan. The initial contact, that's all. Shalonda is right. Shooting your shot simply means opening the initial door of communication. It doesn't mean offering, you're back. Okay, offering or pursuing a relationship. Say, leave our daughter out of that.
But what I'm saying, when she get older, she has to move in an unorthodox way, MJ. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, in her younger days, like when I met Kim, I wouldn't expect Kim don't need to be shooting her shot. She was younger enough that the men probably coming to you. But as you get older and you trying to weed out all the bad ones and you're not getting approached, well, if you see something, because look, men have insecurity. Sometimes men don't want to holler at women. They kind of scared. What not? I don't know. But if you start seeing things you like, even though I'm just talking, LJ.
Yeah, I got you.
You start seeing things you like as a young woman, it's nothing wrong to when she's to be subtle in your approach and letting that man know, look, I see you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Tori said when I was in high school, I shot my shot at 17 and got a boyfriend in his Letterman jacket. You lucked up. Don't even worry about that. That's an anomaly. Shalonda said, what's older?
Well, I'm saying when she started getting 30, 31, mid-30s.
I don't even think that's, I'm against it. I don't even think it
at all.
No, once you hit 40, 45, 50, we already know what time it is. We both ain't got long. 30s.
So you saying in 30s, what? They shouldn't do it in 30s?
I think they should be a little bit more. They can go to that median. I think when you're 19, 20s, you be real subtle.
Yeah, I don't think. I think 1920s. You it's all about how your aura. You let it come to you.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. Okay, 30s. If you want kids, the woman biological clock. I know we got things today. Women having babies in their 40s. But if you're trying to be married and have kids, if you waiting at 30, if you sitting there at 35, and you ain't got nobody, and you talking about you ain't shooting your shot. Well, what?
Okay. So let's bring it to the bottom line. You said in their 30s they can shoot all the way.
No, I'm saying in their 30s that's when they start being subtle.
In their 40s they shoot all the 40s and 50s.
You better be. Hey, in her 40s she better have that Mossberg, that AK. Hey, she better be ready. She
better make it spread, and then
she better have some buckshots in that thing. What I'm saying, yeah.
I'm with you. I would say this. I think women should shoot their shot. Shalonda said missiles. Tracy laughing. I think women should shoot their shot. Not the Draco, but I think it should be different decades and at different times in your life. The shot should be when you're younger, more subtle, and as you get older and you know what you want, then the shot can increase.
I agree with that. I can agree.
So,
I agree with that.
We'll ride with that.
Hey, everything. All cars in.
Yeah, because even at that time, men are more mature. So if you do shoot your shot at somebody your age, he's not gonna take it the same way as somebody that's 20 years old. And you know what I'm saying?
You ain't playing chess at 40.
But what I will say, ladies, watch how you shoot that shot though, because if you too forward.
Yeah, but I think she even though she can shoot her shot, but if she's still the one finding herself being the aggressor, that man just not interested.
Got to ride out. Yeah.
Men will find time for what they're interested in. Let's be
100%.
real. You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
True said, what if it's a popular guy? Like if you're a woman and you want Chris Brown, you're gonna have to shoot. Wait, now see that? If you're a woman and you want Chris Brown,
You don't need Chris Brown.
you probably don't need to shoot at him.
No.
Charlene said the shot can't be sexual. I agree. It can be, when you say sexual, what you mean, Charlene? Because it can be, you can give a look, a wink. I mean, that's not sexual, that's flirting, but you know, some people can take it that way. But in the grand scheme of things, y'all agree with you, the shot can't be sexual. So at the end of the day, yeah, women, y'all can shoot y'all shot. Just know what level you at and what you're supposed to be carrying at what age and all of that. Shalonda said, shoot a shot should be extending and opening. Maybe this guy is shy and blah, blah, blah. But if a woman speaks first and opens that door, that man has to take the lead. I agree.
That's what I'm saying all day.
I
Now
agree.
she can't be the one talking about, hey man, I want to go on a date. Where we going? She planning the date and she
Right.
the one saying, look, when your availability. No,
Nah,
she can't do that.
she can't do that.
She ain't interested.
She can't do that. She can't do that. Nah, she can't do that. Let's go on to the last topic. If y'all still want to comment about that, go ahead. Last topic, do fathers deserve the same rights as mothers? Now, this can be at any capacity. You're single father, single mother, non-custodial, custodian. Now, if marriage, mothers and fathers, however y'all want to break it down, do fathers deserve the same rights as mothers? I thought about this because I was having a conversation with someone, and they are totally against fathers having the same rights as mothers, even in a marriage. Even in a marriage, bro, she was totally against fathers having the same rights as mothers. And with the climate today and everything, man, what do y'all think? Do fathers deserve the same rights as mothers? What you think, bro?
Yes. Fathers deserve the same rights as mothers, MJ.
No matter what capacity.
No matter what capacity. They're the same rights. I'm tired of seeing fathers getting condemned for the mistakes that they made, but women can continue to make the mistakes on the way through the journey. I feel like that it takes both parents to raise a child. I think so, MJ. I think so. That child needs more than just financial stability. Man, he needs the mental, he needs the wisdom, he needs everything. And only both parents can give it. I don't think you should get too much of your father, and I don't think you should get too much of your mother. It's an even balance. And when we as a people decide how much mother or father a child gets, that's the first mistake. I think out the door, man, when a child is born, I think a blood test should be given and to make sure that child is that father's child at the hospital, and they have going out the door. It should be some basic rights that when both of those parents sign that birth certificate, that these kids can exercise. I don't believe the father should be able to take the child from the mother at that young age. She just having them. But I think he should have some indoor rights to come see that child, hold that child, and be with that child. That's just how I feel. And as that child get older, they have basic principles from the hospital that is binding that man can exercise, and it should be given to him. Simple as that, MJ.
Let me read this. Charlene said yes, they should. Tori said absolutely they should. It's about what Cuz said. Yes, but if that man ain't doing nothing, he ain't getting nothing.
And when we say doing nothing, what I'm saying, see, this is the thing, and I'm gonna be real. If I've lost my job as a husband, MJ, Now I've never been in a situation where I brought nothing home, but I brought some pennies home.
Yeah.
My wife still worked. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, see, I'm gonna be very vulnerable with my listeners now.
Mhm, mhm.
If Kim and I wasn't married during that point of time and I didn't have the funding, you would call me a deadbeat. But I got so much wisdom to give my kids, Faith and AJ, that the wisdom that I'm giving them is more than the monetary, the money that I'm bringing to the table, MJ.
Mhm.
And see, that's the thing. If I wasn't married, I would be a deadbeat.
Yeah.
But
That's
because I was married, it shielded me. Now, we all make mistakes. If a man was me during that period of time, you would say he was nothing. He would have got his license suspended, his barber license suspended. You would have said he was a no good father. He don't have any money. He can't do this. But because I was married, I was shielded. But that same man single would be called a deadbeat.
Yeah.
So now let's change our mindset because life be life in MJ.
Yeah.
Life be lifing, bro. And we have to understand that. But this is why I believe marriage should come before the kids. That's just me. But that's not always, it don't always happen that way, bro.
Right.
I understand that even in a marriage, that things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because I was married. I was shielded. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah. How Marcel, I agree to a certain extent as long as the man continues to be a father and not feel because of the binding agreement that he can come in and out of child's life. We got some more. Tori says, but if the father ain't doing nothing, giving them rights, especially court ordered, could make him do something. And I don't mean just financial. Charlene said money is needed to support a child, but it's not everything. Yolanda said to be specific, if that man isn't taking care of his child, spending time, instilling values, showing up for the child, that's who doesn't deserve any rights.
But my thing is, a lot of times through the court system, through parenting, because women have all the rights, I've seen so many times that man can't even get to the point. Now, you got some good women out there. I know some good women. I ain't gonna lie, I know some. I ain't gonna call their names out because I don't know if they want me to call their names out. But I know some good women in my life that regardless if the man was a deadbeat, they still let their baby go to him. I'm not finna sit there and say I don't know that and I don't see that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is a lot of times that I see that because the man don't have the money to give, the other areas don't even get a chance. Because the father is not be able to, he don't have the money to give. Oh, since you can't pay child support, you're not going to see the child. Let's not sit here and act like that's not one of the main things that happens in parenting. Because that man does not have the money, he does not even get a chance to experience the other levels of the wisdom he can give, the time. Because I feel like this, bro. As a person who pay taxes, I feel like if one of the parents not working, why they get to send their child to child care? If the father ain't working, you need to have the baby until you find a job.
Mm-hmm.
If mama working and daddy, what can daddy contribute if mama working? Instead of her paying child care, let that man keep that baby while the lady at work.
Well, you know, it's tough because they factor that into the child support. So then the state gets some of that. You know how it is.
It's a game when it comes to the state because it's about money. But what I'm saying, if I'm gonna think why he's looking for a job, he say, look, I got a couple of job interviews, but these days I'm free. Instead of you paying child care, do some drop-ins, and then instead of you paying child support, child care, let him keep the child, MJ.
Yeah, I'm 100%. You know me. I've always been an advocate. I'm the one that said when the child is born, do a DNA test and get that man some type of basic visitation, whether it's every other weekend. One that'll stop a lot of the, because sometimes you need mediation. Sometimes the law is not always right, but sometimes it can be right for mediation between two parents that just don't agree. Go ahead, bro.
Though the law, one thing what the law does, it creates a problem and fixes the problem. It has created that problem of this situation of the mother having totally physical rights to the child and not giving the father none, he has to go through the courts and get legitimized.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem they create that they don't want to solve because
Right.
it's big money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's big money. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is we as people have to have wisdom, MJ,
Mm-hmm.
and understand the woes of life and move accordingly to that, MJ. And I don't think we do a good job of that. And the child's stuck in the middle.
Right.
Then you got men, I ain't gonna lie, the man that I really dislike is the one who don't stay in the trenches. There's so many men that say, well, I ain't feel like fighting your mama and I ain't even worried about it. I feel like that's BS.
Yeah, you ain't seen the
Nothing
kid
that
in
would keep me
20
from, I
years.
feel like you just a less of a man. That's just the biggest excuse you can give somebody when you say, I got tired of fighting. No, I'm going to fight until I can't fight no more. You're going to have to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I just think, man, that both people should have rights, MJ.
Right.
I don't think no one should be, it shouldn't be no authoritative person when it comes to these kids. Both of us laid down in the bed together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We laid down and co-created this child together. Both of us should have equal amount of rights.
That's a fact. Charlene said with technology now they can do a DNA test before the child is born. Yeah, they don't, they don't want to spend money on that. They want you to fight. They want the parents not to get along, the custodial parent, the non-custodial parent not to get along because it's more money for the state. So they can gain money for 18 years or what have you, even if it's a little less. But you're right. I think that fathers deserve the same right as mothers, and I think that'll fix a lot of the problems that fathers and mothers, whether it be a bitter breakup or anything like that, a divorce or whatever the case is, that they can't fix. So if you have something in place already, then a lot of these problems will be fixed. So yeah, go ahead.
Should men stop signing birth certificates? Because that's what.
Be honest, even if you don't sign it, if she say you the father,
but if she say you the father, don't you have to do a DNA test before the courts?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If you don't sign the birth certificate,
you got to do a DNA test.
She can't use you sign the birth certificate in the court of law.
No.
So then what happens is she say you the father, you have to get a DNA test to prove that you're the father. Then once it comes back that you're the father, then the court orders child support.
Well, you gotta try mediation first.
Mediate, well, you gotta go through the process. So, so if we're not gonna meet in the middle, should men just stop signing birth certificates?
That's a slippery slope.
That's slippery slope.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, I'm talking about stopping the confusion. Should they stop signing birth certificates? And then now we can go to mediation with with both people having some type of authority and power.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got to meet in the middle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think if you have a step of DNA test first, because like Charlene said, hold on. Oh no, because the child needs to be legitimized. Well, yeah, the child got to be legitimized, but it's the mother's child. Unless through marriage, when we're talking about custodial and non-custodial.
Now marriage is different.
It's different.
The married person, I got a little bit more power.
The child, but I think cuz right, for the child to be legitimized, I think both parents got to sign the birth certificate. If I'm not mistaken, Shalonda, you might be right. Charlene said it don't matter if it's signed or not. If the birth certificate isn't signed, then the last name will be the mother's last name. Yeah. So at that time, the last name will be the mother's last name if the father don't sign it. I think the mother can still give them the father's last name if I'm not mistaken.
But I'm saying, is he liable by law to pay child support if he don't sign a birth certificate? That's my question. So I don't know this.
That's a good question. I don't know. I've heard of, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think so, man. You know what? Let me look that up.
Because everybody be in the kumbaya moment, and he signs a birth certificate. Then if they fall out, she go to court, and she says he's the father of the child. Look, he signed a birth certificate in the law, and the court uses that to say that this man said he was the father because he signed the birth certificate. Yeah,
the father can the father can be required to pay child support even if he doesn't sign the birth certificate.
Man, that's a lot of power, y'all.
Mhm.
I'm talking about women. I want women to start looking at things not from them having kids, but from a way of if they got boys, how would you want your boys to be treated? That's a lot of power.
Because it says, while signing a birth certificate acknowledges paternity, it's not the only way to establish it. So that means even if he don't sign it, the mother can still go after him and go through the process. So
but
even
if he don't sign it, but
yeah,
he's
all she got to do is say, "I think he's the father," and go.
But no, before the court can order child support, they're gonna make him take a DNA test to prove that he's the father, right?
Yeah.
Before they order child support.
They're going to ask him if he wants to do it. If he denies the DNA test, they will move forward.
They still move forward.
Yes, sir.
You got to be kidding me.
If he say, "I don't want to take the DNA test," they'll move forward.
And because she said that he's the father,
yes, sir.
Word, this man had to pay money. See, I don't know. See, I don't. You know
I'm in it. Yes, sir.
I don't know all this right here.
Yes, sir.
So you telling me that she can say from the get-go, even if that might not be his child, she could be messing with a couple of men.
Yes.
And she says, Johnny is the baby father.
Correct.
The court says, okay, he didn't sign the birth certificate, but he's gonna get some in the court. He's gonna get served by the sheriff's office with some child support papers to come to court. So they go to court, and he said, you know what? I don't want to take DNA. This is not my child. I ain't taking DNA test. He can refuse it, and they can still say, well, because she said,
yes,
that's your child, we're gonna go and take 23% of your income,
yes,
for child support, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Correct. Until you prove otherwise, get a lawyer and all that. Because
so you're guilty until proven innocent.
That's why they tell all the fathers, the non-custodial fathers, if you have been said that you are the father, to take the DNA test. Don't deny it. Because a lot of fathers will use that as them to buy time a little bit.
So if you take it and it comes back, it's not your child, you clear.
Correct. Well, it depends when. Because it's been fathers.
But no, it's been fathers who have signed the birth certificate and then have gone back and find out it's not their child. They still get charged. They get served child support because they made that commitment in the hospital. So it's best if women, this is why marriage is important, MJ. This is why marriage is important. Because what happens is that now what you see is you see confusion. But me as a married man, as I get a divorce, if divorce happens, I have a little bit more power to establish things in order.
Yeah, you do.
So now men have to think this. I think men need to stop signing these birth certificates at the hospital. Be there for her. If you think that's your child, be there for her, because you'd rather be there and not. Right. Be there when it's time to come to sign the birth certificates. Just say, I don't think I should sign it at this moment.
Let me get
the courts involved.
Get my ducks in order. Take the DNA test. And DNA test, you can get DNA tests from CBS if you need. But Tristan, I think the father should have more rights. We've seen how it works when they give it primarily to the mother. How's that been going? Ooh, Tris.
I don't know what he say now.
He think the father should have more rights than the mother. Shalana said that's like admitting the child is yours. I guess she's saying if you deny the DNA test, yeah, I don't need a test. I know that's my child, so I'll agree to pay. That's basically what it's saying. Charlene, I don't know what you were saying no to me for.
No, what I'm saying, I get that. What I'm saying is that I think men should be there, even if you're not married. Go to the hospital, be there. But when it comes time to sign the birth certificate, don't sign it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because you'll get caught up with it if the child comes.
Don't sign it because you don't know, you're not married.
Right.
And you committing to something that you don't know. Hey, just because y'all was in a relationship, hey, some stuff could have went on. Yeah. So then let the courts summons you to take a blood test. Once that DNA test come back, the child is yours, then you proceed on. That's the type of mindset men got to start having, because being at the hospital, during a kumbaya moment is getting a lot of men messed up. Y'all like,
Yeah, I think you got pretty much you got
all tears.
yeah, you got to find some way to protect yourself. If he denies it, why wouldn't the court move forward? He had the opportunity to prove whether or not the child is his.
I go back on that. I think he should take a DNA test.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He should take the DNA test.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you're not married, listen to me. If you are not married, I don't think men should be required to sign the birth certificate at the hospital if you're not married.
GD Walker, I have a relative who didn't sign and hasn't been tested and had to pay all that money after he was located.
Wow.
Yeah. Charlene said, wow. If you've been taking care of a child for a minute and it's proven not to be yours, the state can still make you responsible. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. If you've been taking care of a child, nah, bro, it can be you just taking care of a child for a minute and it's proven not to be yours, they can still make you responsible.
Let me tell you something. This is what black men together. I'm just not gonna say black men.
Ooh, he didn't even know there was a kid initially. Wow.
We need to start paying lobbyists. The pharmaceutical companies does it. Everybody does it. We need to start paying lobbyists to get these court orders and this child support stuff together. Imagine a woman being in a relationship with a woman and saying, I'm not signing because we're not married, even though we have a relationship. Well, cuz I'm sorry. I see what you're saying. At the same time, men, you got boys, cuz. You got 2 boys. What I'm saying is that it's gonna come upon a time that they got to think about themselves, because who said she was faithful in a relationship?
Yeah,
We're not married.
Yeah, I'll say this, and cuz like you should imagine a woman being in a relationship with the man and him telling the mother, I'm not signing the birth certificate because we're not married. But at the same time, if it goes south, the mother
power.
Hear what I'm saying? The mother doesn't say, well, he's the father, I don't want to put him on child support or this, that, and the third. The mother usually takes all of the rights and the privilege that she has and the protection. So what Alan is saying is, in some way, form, or fashion, you got to protect yourself within the confines of a broken system.
That's right.
So yeah, even though it may hurt for him to say, I'm not signing a birth certificate because we're not married, the truth is we're not married. So
because you're going to use the courts.
Right.
The woman, if it goes south, she's going to use the courts to show everything that this is why I'm doing this, because we are not married.
Correct.
Because we're not married, I'm going to use the courts to hold you accountable.
Correct.
So now, on the top end, I got to learn how to think and say, I'm going to use the courts because we're not married.
Right.
I got to use the courts to protect myself.
Right.
Because we're not married, you're going to go down to the court and make the court hold me accountable.
You can get mad at me one day and say it's over with.
So we're going to pay lobbyists, and we're going to let the courts come up with a regular, from the time we at the hospital, when that baby is born, to say, okay, he has agreed he's the father, she's agreed this and that. When that baby get 2 months years old, he can come get that baby every other week. And this how you ain't got to order child support, but just visitation. Yeah, let's talk about visitation. He gets that baby every other week. Woo. Let's have that understanding before we leave the courthouse. Then I will agree for that man to sign a birth certificate. Yeah, because we have some type of understanding. But if that understanding can't be had, then I'm going to tell him, I will tell my son, look, I know you hot. Granddad used to tell me, don't be so high over heels. Right. I know you high over heels right now, but I want you to protect yourself. I think it's smart for you not to sign the birth certificate until you go to court and you do a DNA test and find out that baby's yours. Then you go to mediation and go to mediation, see what you need to do. But until then, because you're not married, you don't need to sign it.
Yeah.
That's just me, MJ.
I agree. GD Walker, they said a couple of things. Not all police enforced a court order. The same dad was threatened because the mother didn't want him. Mother didn't want him around, so he was threatened. Old law circuit 1940s did protect the man. If they weren't married, kids only had the mother's name, and dads weren't required to do anything. Wow. Remember, not all conceptions are relationships. Many are from those one-night shots. That's facts. That's facts. So yeah, you gotta protect yourself. That's right.
All that power from now, man.
Yeah, so, because women, when the child is born out of wedlock, the woman is called the custodial parent. They get all the power, all the rights, 100%. Now that man can try to get legitimized and get visitation, and that visitation will be probably every other weekend from Friday evening to Sunday noon. Or the next step up would be joint custody, and that joint custody is just she can't leave the state. I can get his social security number, this, that, and the third. Joint physical custody means half the years with me, half the years with her. But the reality is most men can't afford to get all of that because they paying child support. And it's already taking a good chunk of their income. So I think that's one of the most broken systems that we have is the child support system. But guess what? They don't want to fix it. Why?
No, we as MJ, I'm not gonna say they don't want to fix it. Let me tell you something. Lobbying is powerful. We as men have not put enough money in lobbying to get this law changed and done. If the pharmaceutical companies can do it, and look, we just don't. We have everybody know the rest of that ourselves when it comes to that. MJ, I think we're not doing a good job in paying lobbying and letting these type of things be rider bills on other bills that's going to be passed. Right. We need to look into that to make it fair. I want to go back to Selma right here. It says because you're not married, you didn't need to sign the birth certificate, but you weren't married when the child was conceived. Yes, I agree to that. That's why I said it needs to be marriage. But if we finna walk in sin, Grandma used to always say it's the right way to do wrong. So now, since we want to be in sin, so it's not so when I to go to that point, when I say why is it that she can go and have all the power because we're not married? Let's just not look at the man's actions. Let's look at the man and the woman's actions. So this man could be, say he do exactly what he's supposed to. They in a relationship, they're not married. That child is born. He signs the birth certificate. Then they have a falling out. But because we're not married, that woman used the not married to go down to the court and use all her power because we're not married.
Right. And
so let's not stop at the bedroom. Both of us made the thing in the bedroom. It wasn't no more that man fault than that woman fault. No more that woman fault than that man fault in the bedroom.
Yeah, let me say this. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Cuz Dwayne, what's up? Good evening. You late, but it's all good. Shalonda said, but if it's 50-50, there isn't any child support. But it's never 50-50. A lot of the times, non-custodial parents, they go in, it's a whole different thing. So because we choose to sin, why should the child suffer?
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me go work on
that. Go ahead.
To work. I'm glad whoever said it from Selma. Let's hold the woman accountable to that same thing.
Right.
The child is only suffering is because she's on one. Let's sit here and be responsible adults.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not the man's fault because the man. Why is the woman is praised to using her power? But when a man said, I'm gonna learn how to use my power, now we're wrong. No.
This Mika. Hold on.
Mika. What's going on? But my thing is, why is it now? Not a man, not a child suffering because the man exercising his rights. No, but
because and you're right, bro. And I say this because she said, hey, what's up, Mika? She said, so because we chose to sin, why should the child suffer? I would bat against it to say the child doesn't need to suffer if the woman had more of the Shalonda mindset, but she said a 50-50 mindset. See, if it's 50-50, if a woman say, because this is what happens, bro, when it's non-custodial and custodial, the woman gets all the rights. So because she is the custodial parent, she can go down there and get TANF. Some women know what temporary assistance for needed families. She can go get food stamps. She can go, she's going to get child support. She can get peach care. She get all these benefits by not having a husband. So a lot of these women don't want to do 50-50. Why? Because they'll get more personal benefits not being 50-50. So Shalonda, you're right. If most women, before you get to the courts, you go through mediation. All that is it's a couple of counselors that sit down in the room with you and the father, and they try to mediate to come up with something that's fair. But majority of women don't agree in that mediation room. So then what they do is they take it to the judge. And the judge, 9 times out of 10, the father, it's a child support worksheet where they used to say the father do 60% of what that child is and the mothers do 40%. That's how it's broken down. I promise you. A father can take a mother to court just like a mother can take a father. Huh? Not the father is automatically the non-custodial parent in those situations.
So it's an uphill battle for him.
It's an uphill battle.
So what
the
I'm
rights
saying,
that she has,
let's both be custodial parents.
That's
like
yeah.
we would. Why at the hospital that we just can't agree that let's be parents like if we were married, MJ?
Yeah.
Kim don't have no more to say about our kids than I do. It is a conversation between me and her that we work together on. What I'm saying is both of us have the power. Why isn't that we can't come up with something
correct
that mirrors a married couple when that child is born? I think a lot of stuff will be handled.
Alan, because they don't want to, because you easily can come up with an agreement yourself between the father and the mother and go get it notarized, and that's admissible in court. They will not do it because it's not the beneficiary. Check out what Tristan said. I put myself on child support because I wasn't seeing my son. They started the payments immediately. I got official visitation 4 years later. And I know how much Trish spent on that lawyer.
So tell me this.
Court is not for the problem.
So why isn't that we do not discuss visitation rights as they giving child support, how much he has to pay? Why is that a whole different conversation? Why is that not tackled at one time?
You know why?
In the whole cahoots of things.
Because how they got it set up is the mother is automatically legitimized as that child's mother. The father has to go get legitimation. That's what it is. So
I want women to see what I want. I'm saying these dumb questions.
Yeah.
Because I want the women who's listening to really hear what I'm saying to you right now. You're telling me it has to be a whole nother procedure, process. We can a judge can order that man to pay money, but in the same session, he will not order visitation.
No.
That only happens when we were married.
Correct.
I want the women to tell me, do they think that's fair?
Yeah, we're gonna stay on that. Yeah.
Why is it that the court can order how much the man can pay, but then in that same, but to get legitimized, I got to go get a lawyer, and it's a process of getting legitimized as a father. But I'm financially legitimized paying child support because it's been proven that I'm the child's father.
Alan,
so that alone don't let me be legitimized.
Alan, hear me, bro.
You got to be kidding me.
Christian said it's very true, and me and Trish know each other's stories. Shalana says a different process is a parenting plan. Right, it's a parenting plan. That's different. Visitation and payments are two different things, and they do money first. Thank you, Trish, because Mika said that's not true. 100% is true. I've been through the process. Even though I willingly allowed the father to spend time with our daughter, he asked for visitation rights at the time. Let me ask you, Mika, was that through the courts, or was that through mediation, or was that something that y'all came up on y'all own? Because if, for instance, okay, so you're
think about MJ, before you finish, look what she just said.
Right.
She willingly allowed. The woman shouldn't have to willingly allow no one to do anything if I'm the father.
Right. This is what
be willingly allowed to do that.
This is what we're saying, Mika. Most women don't willingly allow when it comes to the court. Now they'll do it outside of the courts, upon their schedule and everything. Now, some women are fair without the courts. Let's not say all of them, but we're talking about the process. When a child is born out of wedlock, the mother is the custodial parent. The father is the non-custodial parent, which they can legally take money out his check, but he legally have no rights to the child unless he go get what they call legitimized. For him to get legitimized, he got to do the same thing the courts would do for you. If you said Johnny was the father and Johnny was living in another state, the courts would go serve him. The courts will find the job. They'll figure it out. For us to get legitimized as fathers of non-custodial, you're right, Trish, tax-free. For us to get legitimized, we have to go down there, file, get the woman's address, file to get legitimized, pay the cost, pay the court fee, pay the sheriff to serve her. Then that starts a process of us having legal rights. That's why you see a lot of the times a man can be on child support, but that mother can take the kids and move to another state. You know why that is? Because legally he has no rights to the child, but legally he has to pay child support. It's two different entities in most states. It's two different entities. It's not handled the same unless you are married. That's why my brother said you got to get married.
Listen, man, let me tell you something. See, I'm glad I ain't go through all that. I'm saying this right here.
I'm sorry, bro. That's what we were saying, Mika. He was allowed to visit without the courts.
That's right.
We're not talking about that.
I'm saying
in court, he did not request a DNA.
I'm saying this right here.
Yep, not fair. Yep.
Is that I think that this system needs to be reapproached.
Mm-hmm.
It really does, man, because it's broken. First of all, these folks need to start having these kids out of wedlock.
Yeah, let's go ahead and say that.
Talk about that. Y'all will save yourself some headaches.
Mm-hmm.
If you decide to be married to a person that you're laying down with, that's first. Okay. Now through that, you're creating so many different things. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think men today, if this situation is so important to men, we need to find us a lobbyist and start putting our money behind it to change the law, MJ. Let's stop getting on these podcasts and talking this and that, if we're not going to be about that action.
I'm with you.
You get what I'm saying? Because talking about things only brings more confusion, especially going back and forth. Then people can take down in women, this and that. Yeah, what I'm saying, we just can't talk about it. Let's be about action. What is the process? Because I know you went through it. I know Tristan went through it. I know some women who've gone through it. I know some women who done lost their kids to the father. I know it's different situations, but what we do know that the child support, the process of legitimizing the father and all this stuff is broken. It needs to change.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what do we need to do to change that, MJ, Tristan?
Well, I think
what y'all gonna do to make sure the next generation don't go through this?
Yeah, I think just starting out with a general visitation at the birth. Because I think a lot of men don't have a problem with child support if every decision wasn't made through the mother. You know what I'm saying? GD Walk, we're gonna get off in a minute. I know a man from Tennessee who divorced his wife and he got out of paying anything for years, and yet she had the child. She couldn't even put the kids in sports unless he agreed. The courts favored him. They were married. They were married. I'm done having kids. Yes, mine were out of wedlock. I never refused my child's father's visitation. Mika, that's totally different.
But see, you're a type woman.
Right.
Your mama be rolling her grave. If you I know. She's rolling her grave. I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying the system needs to be. We just can't depend on a few good women.
Right.
They got to be held accountable. Just like I feel like men should be held accountable. I think child support is needed. I think they should go take money out your check, take care of that baby, because that baby staying with the mom. The lights got to be paid. The mortgage, this and that. It's things that baby be taken care of that your money need to contribute to it. I believe that. What I'm saying is that I don't think a woman should get all that, but then you say, look, I want to see my child. No, because she's mad at you. I just disagree with you.
Right. Too much power to be for. Yeah.
And it hurts the child.
Even if men had all that power, I would be against it.
Yeah, I'd be against it, man. I'll tell. But see, one thing about I know I would tell my friend, man, you wrong for that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many women do that to their friends, say you wrong for keeping that baby from that man. I would tell my friend, dog, you wrong. You keeping she paying. Why the court need to tell you when to see the child, when she need to see the child? Let that baby go over there and spend time with their mama.
Yeah.
Stop acting like that. That's how I would be.
Yeah, cuz said women need to stand up for their men. That's why men mostly have a negative feeling about supporting their child. Mika said she agreed with that. Trish said, I think that's a good starting point, Alan. Stop treating the deadbeat dad the same as one who was trying to be there.
That's right.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. Last one, even from the estranged marriage, it is broken. If courts can force you to pay, they should follow up on the case as long as money is flowing. Yeah, if they can force you to pay, man, I think the court should do a better job in making sure that father has some type of visitation and everything. So we agree to that. But look, we appreciate y'all. Man, it's been a good show. Y'all really been on it. Tell your friend about it. Tell your cousin, your aunties. Tell them all about it. Dwayne said, hey, man, you're 100%. Tell your auntie about it. We appreciate y'all joining. Listen, the weekend is coming up. Take care of your family. Y'all be safe out there. And we'll see y'all next week.
Peace out.
The lineage.